Hi, I'm Anika Chapin, Signature's Director of Artistic Development. Join me as we go into the words of Corner of the Sky from Pippin. This is one of the classic I Want songs in musicals. If you don't know what that is, it's the song in which the protagonist sings about their desires. The opening number is usually first and establishes the world we're in, and the I Want song is often second, as it is here, and it tells us what the question of the show is. What will we be watching the protagonist try to achieve? Corner of the Sky tells us that young Pippin, son of the king, isn't going to waste his life in ordinary commonplace pursuits, but instead find something really fulfilling and spectacular, although he doesn't know what that is, which is key. And while the song captures his youth and optimism, it also captures his lack of clarity on what he might find. That sounds pretty simple, and in many ways it is. The song has a very basic structure, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, and the content of the song also seems pretty simple. Pippin wants to find where he belongs. But I love talking about this song because it's not quite as simple as it looks. Corner of the Sky has a secret, what I call a superstructure. That means that in addition to the structure, there's another known structure built into the song to take you through it as a listener. In this case, the song brings you through an entire life cycle over the course of the song. So you know that Pippin's desire to find his purpose isn't only about right now, it's about his entire life. So how does it work? Let's dive in and see Signature's own Pippin, Brayden Bambino, search for his corner of the sky.
Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky.
So right off the bat, we have this beginning, which was very contemporary for its time. Elton John was charting when the show was written, and this has the same broken triads, that's those rolling notes, that are at the beginning of Tiny Dancer. It doesn't feel like a musical, which suits both the show and the character. Pippin is young, and this is, in essence, pop music. But even aside from that, its simplicity speaks to the character. This isn't fancy, it's warm, and once it gets into this rolling rhythm, it feels like someone heading off on a quest and searching for something. Pippin begins by singing two platitudes. Everything has its season, everything has its time, appropriate for someone who has, in essence, just graduated from college. He's learned a lot, and he can repeat his lessons, although he flips this in the next line, when he says if you show him a reason, he can show you a rhyme. He's more poetic than logical, so he's not totally the scholar he was trained to be. And then he proves this poetry with these sweet images of cats and children, remember that, and goes to a more minor key place when he describes himself not fitting in anywhere like they do. And then we get to the chorus. The song has a very standard verse-chorus structure, as I said, much like a pop song of the 70s. And he's describing the more beautiful things, but these are on a larger scale, rivers and eagles. And we can hear him imagining each, plus this great illustration of the river rambling in the piano orchestration here. And Stephen Schwartz has done this very clever thing with the music. The song is in C major, but for most of this section, there aren't any C major chords. Instead, there are a lot of different chords with flats that don't resolve. So we feel that lack of resolution in the movement from one chord to another. It only resolves into a C major chord when we get to, I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Pippin, like the melody, can't settle on one path, but he knows for sure that he has to be where his spirit is free, and the music is letting us know that. And we get this leap to the higher, got to find my corner of the sky. He's placing the sky notes higher. This is dreamer music, and Pippin is a dreamer.
Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky.
Now the rest of the orchestra starts to come in, so it feels like the music is growing and expanding, much like Pippin is over the course of the verse. And while the first verse was about children playing, this verse starts by talking about men. And at the end of the verse, Pippin says that he wants his life to be something more than long. So we've moved from childhood in the first verse to adulthood here with an eye towards the whole span of a life. Even if we aren't consciously tracking this, I think we can clock subconsciously the magnitude of what Pippin is looking for. But in the meantime, Pippin gives us more imagery about the things and animals who know their purpose, and the music and orchestration really sends us soaring, so you can see the beauty of the rivers and the eagles that he's describing. It's so beautiful, and we can appreciate the beauty of it with Pippin.
So many men seem destined to settle for something small, but I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. And far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble, eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the
Now Pippin is really getting into it, and you can hear that in the music. He's making the song his own vocally, and he's singing about not resting until he knows he'll have it all. And then he moves on to when he's gone. So although the song is relatively simple, Pippin wants to find his big fancy destiny, he starts in this small, humble way, singing about children in the snow, builds to other men having dream, and ends with himself being gone. So it's a full life, childhood, adulthood, death, inside a song about finding his purpose, which is clever. And it sort of mirrors Pippin's central issue by having him imagine each stage of life where people know where they fit, but avoids having him identify exactly what his goal is, outside of being spectacular. He's good at knowing he wants something, but vague on the details. It's very young 20-something post-college. In addition to this, the song gives us a little teaser on the choice that Pippin is going to make. The song gets bigger and bigger as it goes, adding orchestration and vocal riffs. Pippin is almost vocally manifesting his big splashy destiny, and the orchestrations are acting like the leading player, egging him on to dream bigger and bigger. But ultimately, the song pulls back to that same simple solo piano from the beginning. That's pretty much what's going to happen when Pippin gets a taste of the leading player's intended splashy finale, and chooses instead a humble ending for himself.